Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with a wrestling recap for you. I know once again I'm shooting this way late. I gotta start timing my stuff better, man. I got some really Grizzly Adams shit going on here, don't I? Anyway, so I'm talking about NXT Takeover 31 held last night from the Capitol Wrestling Center. Not really sure where that is, but I'm willing to bet dimes for dollars that it's from the lovely, wonderful, beautiful, tropical, paradisical Florida. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, man. Anyhow, let's go through this. The opening match was for the North American Championship. Damian Priest defending against Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling. Gargano, this is the second time in last few months he's been able to really create a very interesting match using the little heel versus the massive baby face kind of mentality. It's a hard match to make work. But this second time in a few months I've seen him do it. He plays off on that Damian Priest falling onto the steel steps. Spy did at Takeover a few months ago. Gargano's really vicious here. One of my favorite parts is Priest goes for a suicide dive, and Gargano pulls two cameramen in the way. Eventually, Damian Priest hits his big finisher and retains the North American Championship. It was a good match. I like how they got the Thunderdome cameras going around, but there were definitely fans present. If there were kids there, I saw kids in the crowd. And I like the whole look. They got the glass, the plexiglass stupid thing, but they got like this fence thing that kind of gives it almost like this almost like an American Gladiator like vibe kind of thing. I thought it was kind of cool. I liked the look for it. Next up was was Kushida versus Velveteen Dream. Kushida is he's the time splitter. He's the Booster Gold of pro wrestling. He dresses like Marty McFly, and he's got his self-lacing boots and everything. And it was just great that Velveteen Dream comes out dressed as Doc Brown. So this is the closest we're ever going to get to a Rick and Morty wrestling match. What I loved about this was Kushida just really beat the shit out of him. It was like a long squash, but it was like brutal. It was vicious. All these people have been shitting on and hating on Velveteen Dream lately. This must have been cathartic for y'all. The finish comes where, it's a long match. It's like a good 10 minutes of Kushida just twisting up and beating down Velveteen and beats the shit out of him. The finish comes, he flips him off the top rope, lands him in an arm bar, and Velveteen taps out. Kushida wins. Big win for Kushida here. Next up, Cruiserweight Championship. Santos Escobar defends against Swerve Scott. Now, I said before I love Swerve Scott, but let's just talk for a second about the name Santos Escobar. That may be the greatest name for a lucha heel in wrestling history right there. I love that name. Santos Escobar. Fuck, I love that shit. Anyhow, this was a really good match. Lots of flippy-dippy, crazy stuff. A lot of reminiscent. It really reminded me to the Cruiserweight title matchups from back in WCW. You have your high-flying, you have your big spots. But there's a lot of mat stuff, too. There's a lot of chain wrestling in this match. It was a very good match. It's probably my favorite match on the card. Eventually, his henchman, Zima Ion, and the other guy try to get involved. Some dude... some guy I'd never seen before. I don't know who this dude was. He said his name, I forget his name. But he runs in to kind of even the score. I love the commentators. Even the odds. It's still 3-2. I mean, it's not really even still, you know what I mean? The finish comes where they're both fighting on the apron. Escobar pushes, kicks, Swerve backwards. Swerve goes backwards. He smacks the back of his head into the exposed top turnbuckle. And a great sell here. Great sell. Swerve he goes instant glassy eye and kind of flops to the mat. And you can tell that it's a kayfabe concussion from the way that Escobar and the referee are playing it. It's very, very, very. If you've ever seen the Triple H Randy Orton match from the Royal Rumble in 2005, I think it was. Maybe it's 2005. Very similar to that, the way Orton was really able to sell a fake, a kayfabe concussion to a very, very convincing degree. Very similar here, reminded me of that. And Swerve looks like he can barely continue. The referee lets it go, stumbles into a finisher, and Escobar retains the title. Hell of a match. Damn good match. Up next is the Women's Championship. Terrific match package here. One of the best ones of the year. Of Candice LeRae challenging Io Shirai for the Women's Championship. And this, I mean, it was Shirai, it was Candice that Io turned heel on over a year ago. And then that blossomed this refreshing character from her, and eventually made her the most charismatic and interesting person on the entire roster, the Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, as far as I'm concerned. And now Candice has become the poison Pitsy, and she's gone crazy and evil, and now they're clashing heads. I love this match. It's a really good match. I love the storytelling of it. I did not like Io coming out with a smile. You know, just because she's a baby face doesn't mean she needs to start smiling, hugging, high-fiving kids, and kissing grandmas and shit. I don't like that shit. You know, I like not every baby face has to campaign for fucking president, you know what I mean? We can have some intense sons of bitches and still root for them. My favorite part of this is towards the finish. Johnny Gargano comes out. He puts on a referee shirt, and the original referee wakes up, and he's kicking Johnny Gargano out of the ring. And before he runs him out of the ring, he's telling him, "Give me the shirt! Give me the shirt!" I love that. That was fucking great. But while the referee's dealing with him, Candice hits Io with the belt. It's not enough to put her away. Eventually, Io's able to fight back, hit the moonsault, and retain the NXT Women's Championship. Immediately after the match, my first thought was, well, hell, Io's already beaten everybody in her rather short title reign. Hell, what are they going to do with her now? Immediately afterwards, the show, up on the Titantron, Toni Storm pops up. She says she's back in NXT, and she's coming for the gold. And then they cut to someone outside the building, and then they walk into the arena, and it's Ember Moon. Haven't seen her since last year's SummerSlam. Holy shit. She walks out and she doesn't really say anything. She just big smile, does the point, and she's coming for Io Shirai. So this is interesting. Right away, it looked like she walked into the match looking like she was definitely going to drop the belt tonight and move to the main roster. And all of a sudden, there's multiple top contenders coming after the belt. Interesting stuff. Good stuff all around. Main event time already. Finn Balor defends the NXT Championship against Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly won a gauntlet match a few weeks ago. Big surprise victory. And going into this match, there's been a lot of teasing that Kyle O'Reilly's maybe going to be babyface. Same thing with Adam Cole. Slight, mild teasing of face turn here. I think it was a few weeks ago, Kyle O'Reilly had a match with Drake Maverick. After the match, the Undisputed Era stomped him down, and O'Reilly didn't participate. He thought it was, unnecessary. This was a great match. I mean, you're talking about two guys who just can't quit. Long, methodical, intense, brutal, hard-hitting match. Eventually, Finn Balor hits the coup de grace and retains the title. You watch the slow-mo version of him hitting the coup de grace. It looks like he about bites his fucking tongue off. Spitting up blood afterwards in the post-match celebration. And I want to say something real quick about Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly is the greatest loser in wrestling history. You gotta understand what I mean by that. I'm not talking about jobber. I'm not talking about losing with dignity kind of thing. I'm talking about the ability to sell that you came to win kind of thing, you know what I mean? Is this confusing? Because, I mean, look, every wrestler they go out, by the time they go out of the curtain, they know if they're going to job or if they're going to be on the mat that night or not. They're going to be looking up at the lights. But you can't tell that to Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, from the second he gets hit with a finisher and gets pinned, he always looks like he's in the fight of his life in every match he's in. And this is just a unique, extremely rare trait that maybe only he possesses, to become 100% honest with you. After the match, the men show some sportsmanship. They shake hands, and they cut to Ridge Holland right there in the crowd, he's got Adam Cole over his shoulder like a goddamn dead carcass. Throws him over the barrier and runs off. Undisputed Era come out and check on Adam Cole. They're asking Finn Balor, "Did you know about this?" I don't fucking know about this. And the show goes off the air like that. Now, no titles changed. There's only 5 matches, and the show overall doesn't mean anything. I mean, there was no, like I said, no titles changed. There's no heel turns. No long-running rivalries were settled. This was a nothing of a show. A lot of what WWE's been doing during the pandemic, the lockdown, during this lovely, wonderful year we've all been living through. The thing is, it's still a great show. I mean, there's only 5 matches, but 5 really, really good matches. The show only goes about 2.5 hours. It's a really good wrestling show. One of the best wrestling shows I've seen all year, even though, in a way, nothing really happened. Anyhow, I hope y'all like this video. I hope y'all come back and watch more of my stuff. I probably should shave. I'm Jake Davis. I'll catch you on the fly.